Hello from Kampala in Uganda. I wonder if you've ever had one of those days where it just feels like everything that can go wrong does go wrong. This week has been really busy for me. I've had a couple of speaking engagements online and there's been prep for those, as well as trying to work flat out to get an edit done on my second novel, and also just the weight of thinking about moving to another country later in this year, which is always sort of there in the background as well. Well, I figured out at the start of the week how I was just about going to squeeze in absolutely everything that needed to be done. And then, first thing on Monday morning, the electricity pole out the back of our house started sparking and popping, and all day long the power in the house was acting really peculiar. Some things would work, some things wouldn't. It was all a little bit strange. So the first hour or so of the day I spent troubleshooting, trying to figure out what on earth was going on, thinking how to make the batteries that we have, which are connected to solar panels, last on a day that was anything but sunny. And just a lot to think about, a lot that wasn't the best for that start to the week that I had wanted. It wasn't the great running start that would have helped me with that list of everything that I had to get done in that week. And it wasn't really a massive thing. I've gotten quite used to power outages living here in Uganda and other weirdness with power and other utilities as well, but it completely threw my routine in a week where my routine felt like it was the most important thing. My first response to it all was just to run to the bedroom and hide beneath the blanket for a while and hope that it would all just go away and everything would magically get done by itself. It made me think about a Bible character called Jonah. We know the story of him and the whale, but I started to think about what came after that. See, Jonah eventually did what God asked him to do. But when things didn't go the way he wanted them to, when it seemed like everything had gone wrong, this is what Jonah did in chapter 4 and verse 5 of his book in the Bible. It says, Jonah had gone out and sat down at a place east of the city. There he made himself a shelter, sat in its shade, and waited to see what would happen to the city. Jonah sits down and basically he sulks. So God grows this plant up and over him, which helps to ease his discomfort. It offers him a little bit more shelter as he sits and sulks. But when that plant dies, Jonah's reaction is to say, it would be better for me to die than to live. It's quite an extreme reaction there. When we have those moments where it feels like everything has gone wrong, it's really easy to focus everything on ourselves. It's easy to look at the situation that we're in and say, wow, God, you had the power to change this. You could have prevented this from happening. God, you knew how busy I was going to be that day. Why couldn't you have stopped that power line going crazy? That would have been a really big help, It's so much harder for me now than it could have been. Me. There's a well-known verse in Isaiah chapter 26 and verse 3, and it goes, you will keep in perfect peace all who trust in you, all whose thoughts are fixed on you. Perfect peace. Peace that passes understanding. Peace that is not bothered when plans change. When it looks like everything has gone wrong on the surface. We don't find that kind of peace when our thoughts are fixed on ourselves. We don't find that perfect peace when our thoughts are fixed on the problems. We find that perfect peace when our thoughts are fixed on God. That's the big question to ask yourself when you find yourself having one of those days where it seems like everything's gone wrong. What are you focused on? What are you thinking about? Are you angry like Jonah was? Are you frustrated? Are you finding it hard to think beyond the problems and how they're going to impact your day or your week or your month or your life? Chances are somewhere in those thoughts, you're getting a little bit me focused. And it's time to change that perspective. You know, when I stopped getting mad and started to realize that actually this isn't all just about me, well, I got the idea for this video jotted down. That's one thing I achieved, but also the day started to feel a lot better. There was still no power. There was still no sun to recharge the batteries. I still had a mountain of stuff that needed doing. That had not changed. It hadn't gone away, but my attitude changed. And instead of thinking, well, I might as well give up. What's the point? It's too hard. It's all gone wrong. There's no point in fighting through it. I'm just going to give up. Instead of thinking that, I started to say, okay, God, I don't understand, but I trust in you. And I'm going to keep thinking about you today. And I'm going to keep going. When you have a day where it seems that everything that can go wrong has gone wrong, turn the focus away from you, turn it onto God, and you will begin to find that perfect peace. That is how you can overcome a day where everything goes wrong. Thank you so much for joining me here today for this thought from the Bible. I will be back on Monday with another video, so I will see you then.